In the single most thrilling development for law and justice in the Trump era, there was a raid of an election center in America. Good. This is the Fulton County Election Center, and Tulsi Gabbard was on hand to raid it and to seize all of the boxes of votes. And the bloody irony here is that they wouldn't have had any of these records if they hadn't prosecuted Donald Trump. They actually had to keep their election records from 2020. These ballots had never been inspected, and they are now in the possession of the FBI. Donald Trump, soon after this raid, said, "We got him, we caught him red-handed," and it's over. Tulsi Gabbard was seen very mysteriously on the phone after reviewing the evidence. Who was she talking to? President Trump, obviously. And what did she say to President Trump when he asked about election fraud?
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and review there very quickly. So the electronic voting machines are able to be exploited because they're connected to the internet. Anybody from anywhere can just change the numbers. You ever wonder why in these close elections, especially in South America, but in the 2020 election, that it's always 51 to 49? It's always the exact same percentages. When they wanted to rig the Senate elections in Georgia, 51 to 49. Both races. Let's just go with both races. Same thing in Arizona. Katie Hobbs running against Kari Lake. 51 to 49. That's just what we're going to do. And it's the same thing with Spencer Pratt. It's always the same with these voter machines. It's like an algorithm that they just punch the numbers in that they want, and then they get them. Obviously, that mixed with unlimited mail-in ballots. This, the best headline, had me howling yesterday. Trump DOJ struggles to show widespread voter fraud. Just teeny spread voter fraud. Just little spread voter fraud. Not widespread, mini spread. Look at this. Voter fraud in every state. Voter fraud everywhere. It's so egregious. The Patterson City Council president, who's now in prison, and his refrigerator dump of a wife were just seen going mailbox to mailbox, plucking out mail-in ballots. Yeah, it's funny. MSNBC just telling you what it is,
with
right?
This system. I mean, we've seen this now probably for about a decade out there. It's those votes that get tabulated after Election Day. They tend to be almost always are heavily Democratic. We've seen this.
Why would that be? Why would the votes that get tabulated after Election Day be heavily Democratic? Well, I have video evidence of exactly why that would be. Here we have Hamtramck, Michigan. This is the only majority Muslim town in all of America. The place is a bit of a dump heap. And the reason why is that the moment that foreign nationals got in control of the country, got in control of the city, municipality itself, it started being run like the third world hellholes that the foreigners were from. City Councilman Abu Musa on tape stuffing ballot boxes in the middle of the night, and then multiple other times he's sitting there stuffing ballot. He's caught on camera. Look at this. All they did for local news was just set up a camera across from the ballot box. And this dude's just shoving garbage bag full of ballots into the box. So anyway, the whole system's been rigged. It has been rigged. It's been proven to be rigged. Trump's doing his best to stop it. He wants to get rid of electronic voting, and he wants to get rid of vote by mail fraud, where he's shutting down the Postal Service's ability to deliver mail-in ballots to states that won't give the voter rolls to the federal government in order to check. So it's a felony to mail somebody a ballot who's a foreigner who'd be voting illegally in our country. So the post office, it's a genius move. Post office is just saying, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna engage in a felony. In continuance of a crime, you cannot use the U.S. Postal Service. Awesome. Something else big happened today. Whoo boy. Something we predicted about 6 months ago. You had to go back into the archives to find this one, where we said, we've been doing little phone calls with people about why the Maduro raid was so important. And they told us something that shocked us. They told us that the Maduro raise is important because Nicolas Maduro is going to sing like a canary because they nabbed his wife too, right? They nabbed him and his wife, and they're bringing her in for leverage. Nicolas Maduro was part of the regime that ran the Dominion voting systems and Smartmatic systems. Those are Venezuelan companies that were created in Venezuela in order to rig elections. And that's what they ended up doing. And that the more pressure that is applied to Nicolas Maduro, the more he is going to sing about how elections get rigged. And he knows where all the bodies are buried. And that's what we were told 6 months ago. And boy, howdy, President Trump, as soon as Maduro was black-bagged, started posting about Dominion voting systems, how corrupt they were, how they can switch votes. And now, what would you look at that? Dominion voting has dropped its 2020 election lawsuit against Mike Lindell. Wait a second, aren't these the career-ending, life-ending lawsuits that bankrupted Rudy Giuliani and that Fox News spent $770 million on settling, and Newsmax spent untold millions on settling as well? And now Dominion straight up dropping their lawsuits against Mike Lindell, who actually fought back. The parties have agreed to confidentially settle this matter. Well, what does that mean? Mike Lindell said that this means that I win and they lost. Dominion Voting Systems dropped its 2020 election lawsuits against Mike Lindell, settling being reached between the parties. A brief document filed on Monday. The plaintiffs and Dominion Voting Systems, through their representatives, undersigned counsel, hereby stipulate and agree pursuant federal rule dismissal of the claims. Each party will bear its own attorney fees and costs. Dominion ends lengthy legal battle against Mike Lindell. Ooh. Dominion sued Lindell for $1.3 billion in February 2021. It's now 2026, and he won. Lindell won. Incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Dominion agrees to dismiss it. 5-year-long, 800-page report. Evidence of fraud from Dominion machines will be released today. The voting machine companies are falling like dominoes. This is why I fought every single day for election integrity. I'm telling you, I just know too many people inside of the Trump administration that worked specifically on this question of how are they rigging the vote with electronic machines. And when the story is fully told about what they did and how they did it, it will break America's brains. I think I know probably 1% of what actually happened, but it is worth every bit of a Tom Clancy level, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, foreign espionage, spies, space. It's crazy. It's like a Bond film. Dominion Voting System drops lawsuit against Mike Lindell. It looks like the new director of national intelligence is on to something here. Dominion Voting System has dropped it. Fox News settled for nearly $800 million just for questioning it. That's insane. I mean, who's that sensitive? So here comes a couple of things. And if you connect the dots here, you'll realize exactly how bad, how down bad these guys are. Ex-Dominion Voting Systems executive Eric Coomer admitted under oath in a deposition that the voting equipment adjudication software and source code was being shared with foreign nationals. They could remotely troubleshoot Dominion systems. So foreign nationals could intervene in the U.S. election. This contradicts years of Dominion denials of foreign involvement in U.S. election. Ooh, what's going to happen next? Significant findings from the new 800-page Dominion documents of the stolen election. Ballots exceed voters in 3 decisive states. What? In Michigan, there were more ballots than voters, according to this document. Nearly 500,000 more ballots than voters. Pennsylvania, more ballots than voters. Fulton County, more ballots than voters. Ooh, is that what they're going to find? Each discrepancy independently exceeds the state's margin of victory. Public Legal Interest Foundation documented that Pennsylvania distributed approximately 3.1 million mail-in ballots in 2020, and that 400,000 of those ballots were classified as unknown, meaning election officials had no record of what happened to them where they were returned, not returned, counted, or discarded. Very bad. Look at that. So is that how they did it? A mix of mail-in ballots and Dominion machines? New Dominion report confirms internet connectivity. Voter systems were not air-gapped like they claim to be. Voting systems also operated outside of these certified configurations in Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, Colorado, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Remember those states? On election night 2020, those are all the states that told you they had to close up shop and stop counting, right? Amazing. Way outside of the ballot error rate. Bad news, man. The machines were built and sold with internet connectivity, and everyone will tell you that is the kiss of death here. Seems to be long classified. Newsmax and Fox settled. I hope Fox and Newsmax file motions to get their money back. They were hustled by liberal media and by courts accepting frivolous lawsuits. It's true. You have every right to question an election. You have every right to. It's our country, after all, not some Venezuelan software company's country. This was the level of tyranny that they brought us under Biden. Fox News should have never caved. Dominion knows that they cheated and didn't want to get into Discovery with Mike Lindell. Nobody ever went to Discovery. Isn't that interesting? Give Rudy his money back. Give Lindell his money back. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen. They tried to silence. The biggest voice is calling it out. Huge development for election integrity. Mike Flynn's one of those people that knows the full story, man. There's a lot of evidence racking up. Is it Nicolas Maduro in federal custody that's causing them to like wipe their hands of this? Remember, Smartmatic was just sold, right? So these software companies are now selling for pennies on the dollar to Americans. Smartmatic was sold to a Republican activist out of Ohio. Very interesting times. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll stay on this. Safe and secure elections. This is how you get them. You fight back.
Nếu quý vị thấy nội dung này hữu ích, xin hãy ủng hộ kênh bằng cách nhấn đăng ký, bấm thích và để lại bình luận bên dưới. Sự đồng hành của quý vị là nguồn động lực quý báu để chúng tôi tiếp tục mang đến những nội dung tốt hơn trong các chương trình tiếp theo.